While everyone's arguing on Twitter about whether AI will take jobs, JP Morgan just saved 360,000 work hours using one AI. So while your company is still exploring AI use cases, JP Morgan has 450 of them already running, and they're targeting 1,000 by the next year. Right? And here's the kicker. They are making $1.5 to $2 billion in business value from AI annually. So today I'm breaking down exactly how the world's largest bank became an AI powerhouse and the playbook they are using that you can steal or learn from. So here's what's wild about this story. Most companies are treating AI like it's a side project. And you know the drill. Some innovation lab buried 3 levels deep in the organization chart, running pilots that never see the light of the day. JP Morgan said, no, we are going all in. And I mean all in. Check out these numbers. $18 billion technology budget in 2025. $18 billion. Of that, nearly $2 billion is going straight to AI. But here's what separates JP Morgan from everyone else. They are not just throwing money at the problem. They built 6 flagship AI tools that are being used by hundreds of thousands of employees right now. So I'm going to break down each one of these tools because that's where it gets crazy. Tool number 1 that JP Morgan uses and their employees use is their LLM suite. Think of ChatGPT, but trained on your company's proprietary data and is also integrated with your internal systems. And well, it's used by 200,000 employees. And I'm not, of course, making these numbers. These are real numbers. 200,000 employees using their internal ChatGPT based on their own data. And then they're planning to roll it out to all 320,000 staff. This is not some toy. Employees use it for real use cases. Employees use it for writing, editing documents, summarizing research, generating ideas, getting instant answers. It's like basically having a virtual research analyst on demand. But the genius part is, this virtual research analyst uses their proprietary data, and it's built in such a way that this proprietary data never leaves their secure environment. They get the power of this frontier AI models without any security risk. That's smart. And there's only one tool. Tool number 2 is Eve. I assume that's how it's pronounced. It's EEVE. 80,000 call center employees use this daily. Imagine you are handling a customer call about a complex fraud case. And normally, you would put that customer on hold. You would search through 17 different policy documents. You probably say, hey, let me ask my supervisor. But E, instant answers. Right? Hey, does the customer have a complex policy question? E. Is there a fraud detection protocol? E. Are there any claims processing procedures to know? E. So Eve is a call center AI or JP Morgan. And by using Eve, the call resolution times have dramatically decreased. Customer satisfaction has increased, of course. Right? 80,000 employees. It's half of their workforce in operations is turbocharged with this AI. There's the second one. The third one is the coding assistant. 60,000 engineers are using this tool. And their global CIO has confirmed that this coding assistant that they are using is delivering 10 to 20% productivity gains. And this coding assistant is not just some kind of autocomplete that writes or auto completes your code. This tool actually generates code. It actually debugs complex issues. It actually optimizes the performance of the code. It also handles any legacy system migrations. It converts one programming language to another. It actually converts COBOL to Java. If you don't know COBOL, COBOL is like an ancient code that runs critical banking systems. And typically migrating COBOL or changing COBOL, the ancient way of coding, changing it to a more modern way of coding is typically a nightmare. But AI is flawlessly doing it. 60,000 engineers, 20% more productive. Do the math on what that's worth. And that is the third tool. The fourth tool is their Chat CFO. Chat CFO, this is their fourth internal tool. They build an AI that responds like a CFO. For what? Well, finance teams can ask complex questions and can get detailed answers which are data backed. So get data backed detailed answers to any CFO level complex questions instantly. No more waiting for endless reports. No more manually pulling data from 10 systems. No more repeating the same analysis quarterly. The AI handles routine financial inquiries so that the humans can focus more on strategic decisions. It's not, of course, replacing CFOs. It is scaling the thinking of CFOs. Well, that's that. The fifth tool is, and this is very unique, it is Michael Sembalist Expert Simulator. Okay, a lot of words there. It's wide. Michael Sembalist is JPMorgan's chairman of market and investment strategy. And this guy has a cult following on Wall Street. Nearly 40 years of investment analysis. He recently called AI the bet of the century. So what did JP Morgan do? They built an AI that thinks like him. What can their employees do? Well, their employees can now query this AI whenever they want, however they want, and get responses as if they're talking to one of the most reputed strategists in finance. Think about that. They took one person's expertise and democratized it across the whole organization. It would be foolish to call this just an AI. It's leverage at scale. And that's their fifth tool. The sixth tool that they are using right now is called COIN. It's called COIN. It stands for Contract Intelligence. COIN, COIN, Contract Intelligence. This tool processes 12,000 commercial credit agreements in seconds. 12,000 agreements in seconds. Doing the calculation, they say 360,000 work hours per year are synced. 360,000 work hours. What does this AI do? It will detect any important clauses in the contract. It will find you any default terms. It would find your renewal conditions. It would find any regulatory requirements. It would find any hidden risks with near zero error rates. Something literally impossible with human review. So what do they have? Six tools, hundreds of thousands of users, and billions of dollars in value. But here's the thing. Most people look at these tools and say, hey, cool technology. Wow, must appreciate. But the real story is the strategy behind it. So let me give you the four-part playbook on what's happening here. And what should be your conclusion, your takeaway from this one? You see the executive commitment? This AI does not report to the CTO at JPMorgan. It does not report to the CTO. This AI reports directly to the CEO and the president, who literally said this AI is too important to be buried in the tech department. So when the CEO makes something a top three priority, the entire organization moves. That's point one. If your C-suite is not bought in, your AI initiatives will die. You need the buy-in of your upper management, your leadership. Second, invest in people, not just technology. Listen to this. Between 2019 to 2023, in this gap of 4 years, they increased AI and technology training hours by 500%. They increased the amount of hours spent on teaching or learning AI and technology by 500% in the gap of 2019 to 2023. They made prompt engineering mandatory for new hires, especially the ones in asset and wealth management must learn prompt engineering. They added Python, the coding language, as a core skill. Because the truth is, the best AI tools are useless if your people don't know how to use them. They're not just buying software, they're transforming their workforce. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's the second point. The third one is you must many a times build internal tools. You cannot just do away by buying software. Right? While most companies are buying off-the-shelf AI solutions, JP Morgan is building custom internal tools. Why? Because generic tools do not integrate with your specific workflows. So they build an LLM suite for their research needs. They build the chat CFO for their finance team. They build Symbolist expert simulator for investment strategy. These are all tailored to their business and their business objective. Is it harder to build in-house tools? Yes, it is. Does it cost more to build in-house tools? Yes, it costs more upfront. But the ROI in mid or long term is unmatched. So that's the third learning. The fourth one is you got to scale aggressively. Now's the time. JP Morgan is not running pilots. They have 450 AI use cases in production right now. And they're targeting to reach 1,000 AI use cases by 2026. That's not testing the waters. That's full deployment. So, what's all of this worth? Let's talk numbers, right? Because numbers do not lie. I've sprinkled some of these numbers around what I have been through, but the financial impact is they are generating or saving around $1.5 billion through fraud prevention, through trading efficiencies, through operations. $1.5 billion. They would see 20% increase in gross sales in asset and wealth management. In terms of operational impact, 360,000 work hours saved through Coin AI alone. In terms of productivity gains, 10 to 20% productivity in 60,000 genes. And the cost to them through frauds, right? So the fraud cost is flat. The cost they're incurring through frauds is flat. Is that impressive? Well, the fraud cost is flat. Despite 12% increase in the number of attacks. So there's been 12% increase in number of fraud attacks. Even though there was this increase in number of fraud attacks, the amount that they had to incur as a cost for that is the same. So if you think about it, a penny saved is a penny earned. There's been 12% more cost that they could have incurred, but they've saved it using this scheme. So that's AI playing defense, and it's worth billions. This defense is worth billions. So my question is, what is stopping you from implementing even one of these ideas in your business or in your career? Because the companies and the individuals who move fastest on this, they are going to have an unfair advantage for the next decade. JPMorgan is already there. You should not get left behind. That's my point. So if you found this valuable, drop a comment with one thing you're going to implement from this playbook. Share this with your team or your boss, right? Seriously, send them this link. And subscribe, because I'm breaking down more AI strategies from the world's most innovative companies. I'll see you in the next one.